it was you guys that approved the framework agreement and the business plan then for the DIA?
Those were approved by Treasury Board.
Okay. Do you think you'd be able to produce the governing documents then for it?
What?
Yeah, those documents belong to the department, but I'm happy to take the committee's interest back to colleagues at PSPC and the DIA.
Okay, and then you'll table them back with this committee if you could?
I can follow up with the committee, sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I would really appreciate that. I think I got time for maybe one or two more questions here. So just what is the government's definition of core defense needs? Do you know what that is?
I would only say that from my perspective, those are the needs that are defined by the Minister of National Defence and the Canadian Armed Forces. So I myself don't have a definition of core needs, but I would say that those are as defined by the forces.
Would it be inappropriate for the industry minister then to be commenting on what is defined as a defence need?
I think the Minister of Industry has a role in terms of, as does his department, in terms of dealing with the industry and the defence industrial base. I wouldn't have a view on whether it's appropriate or not for him to comment on what are core needs.
Okay, we were just hearing, because they're trying to get to 5% for the NATO requirements, right? There's 3.5%, which would be committed heavily to military, but 1.5% that would kind of be like in parallel or kind of maybe alongside it, but not necessarily required. Are you concerned about that 1.5% and what may or may not fall into that 1.5%?
I think it is a really important area of discussion. So I think you're referring to sort of the dual use investments that would fall into that category. It's not an area of expertise of mine, but I would note that there are undoubtedly instances where one objective can serve both purposes.
Right. I noticed that the minister commented on climate change being possibly as part of the NATO commitments. Does that seem a little bit outside of the scope?
No!
Again, I apologize. I'm not expert in what would meet the definition, but the NATO definition, of course, is something that all NATO parties will have to comply with.
Thanks very much, Mr.